Alright guys, we're going to be removing a fuse panel. So we're gonna begin by removing what we need to remove. Looks like there's a plastic removing thing, and we would need to remove this plastic piece, which is actually removed. I will remove this one just in case. I'm not sure if we're going to need access to it. I'm just going to put the bolts in the cup holder. So we have a computer that's back here, and I believe this is the computer that you need in order to actually replace it. So it's way back here. So to disconnect it, you gotta press the gray. Okay, let's see. We're gonna have to have some access to it. So you have to press that down and then slide it out like that. I really need something to hold that door. Keeps trying to close on me. So I use one finger to hold it down, another one to slide it out. Same thing here. It appears to be part of the module. I really don't see how it's attached just yet. We do have a little bolt here. Let's go ahead and pull this out. So that's a long one. We might have similar bolt up top. Not really sure. I'm going to, I don't know if I'm going to need to remove that or not. But I'm gonna need to prop this door up with this plastic piece. Easy peasy. That's removed. We do need to get rid of this rubber mat. I'm going to go ahead and stick it over there. This is another piece that we don't want to break. We have another plastic piece here. Okay, so apparently it broke off. Okay. No, it's actually not broken off. So what we want to do is we want to put it right back like that. I'm going to use it later on. So now we have that other plastic piece to remove right here. It's probably not necessary to remove this, but this is my first time removing the computer, and I'm not sure what really is in the way and what's not in the way. So we have another plastic piece right here to remove. So that just sort of removes like that. You could just simply pry on it a little bit, and then this comes out. But then we have that little place that it's holding down to, and then we have some of this rubber. So let's see if it's completely. Oh, this is on there tight. Really don't want to tear this piece up. I just want to have access to anything that might be holding that computer down. And from what I could see, this would need to come out. This plastic is going every which way. Oh, that bolt is covered up. Can't really see what I'm dealing with here. Too much sand. Once I remove this for the first time, I'll be able to really understand if this was unnecessary or not to remove it. But I won't be surprised if it is a necessary step. This is just so that you could get more time out of the job. At this point, so much sand in here, can't really. See if we could try another end. Yes, that worked. Because the way everything's assembled, it seems like it's a process like that even involves removing that piece, unless it simply slides out of there. Oh, yeah, and removing this needs to come out, so it's being held over there, possibly. Yeah, there's another one, needs to be pried out. There's another one. You really can't see that. I don't even know what that bulge is about. That's not really supposed to be there. So hopefully it's a pack of $100 bills. That's what I'm really hoping that is. But in any case, I gotta get something to pry this out. Flathead. Let's just try prying this, using it. One thing's for sure, I'm not a fan of messing these things up. But if there's an easy way, you let me know, guys. I don't know if I'm tackling it from the right side, but that one's not moving. All right, so from what I could see, it's designed to be pried from the other way, but it's poor design because it's not easy to pry from this other end. So then you have to do this to it. See, there's like you can't even pry it from that end. You might just have to buy these things new, because they're shaped at an angle to come out like this, so naturally it'll be easier to peel from that other side, but because there's no room, that ain't gonna happen. Okay, let's get these things out of the way. So what do we have here? Some rusted out bolts, that's what we have. They appear to be coming out. I'm surprised I'm even able to get a grip on them. Really corroded. And it's not a surprise because even though they're covered, every time you get in here there's moisture from your feet, like snow and salt that gets melted, and it makes its way down in there. Doesn't really help things. Surprising how much crud really makes down in there. Can't even get a grip on this. Kind of getting a grip of it, but you're always going to have that one that you really can't do much with. Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to use something sharp to clean. I realized just because I got this loose, I can get this loose out of there just like I did. So the only thing I gotta do is get this thing out of here like that. We do have the OBD2 portion that's being held here by a couple very tiny screws. Let me see if this will work for it. Yes, works perfectly. What size? Well, let's see. It's T10 by 4 Torx, so it's a T10 basically. So I'm just gonna put that in a cup holder. Now we're going to have direct access. There's a good chance that I'm gonna have to remove the fuse panel out of here, but I'm not trying to throw any parts at it, so I'm going to replace piece by piece just to make sure that I'm not replacing something that I don't have to be replacing. So apparently this is supposed to come apart, and from what I could see, well, that's the tabs that hold it down in place. Maybe these are, maybe you slide this out. So slide that out to release the plastic portion. Let's see if this will simply just release. From what I could see, it did. And now to remember how to put it back, is there a right and a wrong way of doing it? Well, we have the two sliding pieces, these things, and then we have like a little groove over here, and there isn't one on that side or anything on that side. So you just simply put this in, slide this in, everything's gonna be good. So that's out. Now what do we have here? Well, next I'm going to need a light. Alright guys, so we have light in here now, and this computer is being held on by this. It's very hard to tell anything, but we do have another electrical connector to come out on that side, so that's out, and then another connector that you simply squeeze the tabs on it from top and bottom like that, and you pull that out. So that portion simply slid out. What about that other portion? I really don't understand it. It is part of the fuse panel. So from what I could see, you gotta loosen the tabs and just pull the entire thing down. Whew. These are some of the most awkward positions to be in. So what do we have here? So it simply lifts up and out. So I think this is possibly fried on that other van. So that's a possibility, because the lights are not working. But last time I had this problem, this was actually fried. So to remove that, I need to press down that tab, slide that out. It's a lot of stuff to remember, guys. Good thing you have this video. So basically, you need to press down this little, I don't know if you guys could see that. Hopefully you can. See. So we need to press down that little I can't press it. It's the wrong angle. Okay, so that's out, and this simply gets out. And then what do we have here? We have another one. This one seems a little tricky. It appears to me that you have to pull the red tab up. I'm not sure how much of it needs to get out so that you could pull it. So there's a weird type of plug. It appears that when you're pressing it, it does not release. Okay. So let's slightly release that. Then we have this whole array here. You can see these are little tabs. Press those, so that gets separated. So now we're left with this. So that's a releasing tab, and so is this. So from what I could see is this piece. So when you pull on it, I'm not sure how far it needs to go, but it slightly releases. So I had it all the way pulled. So now we have this, which could be bad, and then we have this. Question is that a direct fit from a 2013, a 2012 into a 2008? This, I'm sure, is going to be direct fit. This probably also. But I wonder if the fuse is going to be the same or not. But anyways, gotta get to the other one, get the stuff replaced. Guys, initially, since the beginning of my channel, and even up until now, this is going on 5th year, I was always saying my intention is not to get my viewers into my shop or get anybody's van to be working on. My intention is not to be fixing vehicles, but apparently I have no choice. My viewers, they're looking at the work that I'm doing. They see that I'm putting my heart into my work, as always, and they're like, hey, please fix our van. We're gonna bring it down to you. And I can't say no. I already know how to work on this kind of stuff, and for where I can't work on it, look, you've seen my videos. I'm honest with you guys. I'm like, listen, I'm still learning. So some of the stuff I'm not gonna know. But here's what counts. I try to find out exactly what's going on instead of just, you know, guessing like the dealerships do. And they're like, you know what? We think it's your ECM. So you're like, hey, do you think it's going to fix the problem? They're going to come back to you and say, well, our technician recommended that you replace the ECM.
and that's what we got. So you're like, okay, go ahead and install it. Well, then you install the ACM, and they're gonna tell you, you know what, it installed the issue, but we think it's gonna be like your knock sensors. Is it gonna solve the problem? We think so, but that's what he recommended. So then you replace that. Problem not solved. They're gonna go for the next thing. We think it's your particulate filter, and we think that needs to be replaced. Is that gonna solve my issue? The technician recommended it. We do that. So you want it done, and you say, okay, let's get it done. Well, $7,000 later, nothing's fixed, and you would think you're at the Mercedes and you're getting it done. Of course, they do proper work, but they also charge proper money for it. And for them, very easy to throw parts at it, because anytime they put a part on it, first of all, they sell it, they make money. Second of all, they charge you for the labor for that part as well. And ultimately, you can't really blame them or anybody for it. It's just, the question is here. It's like, who out there is willing to actually help the customer out? Because sure, you could throw parts at it, you could charge for labor, you could cover all your overhead costs, and instead of having 10 clients, you could just have one or two that basically will be equivalent to all those other customers. But I don't know the answer to this question. All I know is this: if I would be a mechanic for sprinters, I don't want to be just throwing parts at it, even though we might have to sometimes, but that would not be my intention. If I'm, if I would be stuck and there is no return, like you can't really do anything else, that's the only decision you have, so you can't really blame somebody for that. But the issue comes up is with this. If you already dealt with the situation before, so I could imagine if you're a dealer, you already seen this before. Well, why not retrace your steps back and say, you know what, we did this for this customer and this worked, so let's do this here, and then it should work. At least start there, instead of just like throwing parts at it and like letting a customer be paying for it. But I'm also thinking this, that depending on what it is, especially when it's like electronics, if it's like plug and play, I mean, if it doesn't work, then why charge the customer for that part? I could understand charging the labor, but charging for the part, I think is not necessary, especially if that part didn't solve that issue. Just my 2 cents. But anyways, guys, let's see if this van will start. I know it's only been a few minutes, but let's see if it's going to start up and go from there.
My name is Serge Zimaleta. I'm 37 years old, and yes, I experienced success after buying my first home for cash. Back in 2011, I was broke, but I learned to solve problems on my own. Now I'm helping others to solve their problems. I know what pitfalls to avoid to stay profitable in business. Need motivation to be more successful in your life? Do you have Sprinter, Expedite, or business problems? Then subscribe. Let's find creative solutions to your problems. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of my helpful videos.